Alright guys, Vol here. Let's get underway with some 40k bat reps from Battle Cry. First round up against Dave Wilson with his White Sisters of Battle army on the showpiece of probably the whole event, which is this gaming table here, done by a guy who is promoting lighting effects in miniature wargaming. And as you can see, he's got a table in 3 large rectangular pieces stuck together, and underneath the actual surface of the table is a set of lights, and you can see the rivers of lava just lit up and expertly designed. Even the temple, which is next to my deployment zone, is glowing and so forth. If you're looking from the outside at the eye sockets of the skulls and so forth, so just a real pleasure to actually get drawn on this table for the first round. My opponent and I have basically just said that the rivers are themselves area terrain, and as long as your tanks don't go too much over the lava, they don't have to take a test. But obviously if they're crossing the river, they've got to take a dangerous terrain test. And generally it's going to be a shootout. Unfortunately, because of the lack of club support for this particular event, we don't have much terrain to work with, so we weren't actually putting lots of sort of buildings and rubble and so forth over the terrain. That should be an advantage for me, but unfortunately Dave has won the roll for the first turn, and because this whole game is going to descend into a bit of a shootout, it's a kill points mission, things are going to get really interesting. Next photo, just showing you deployment from his side of the board. He's basically blocking off his exorcists with his rhinos. The thing is, he'll be shooting at me with the exorcists and knocking things out, stun locking me quite a lot, and there's not much I'll be able to do about that except shoot back. Now, one really weird thing about the way this tournament is run is that the tournament organizer that has matched everybody up in the first round based on kill points. So if you had a lot of kill points, you're playing against the other guy with the most kill points. Now that's a bit controversial, because the whole point of having kill points is to mean that people who have really stacked their army for having lots of troops choices to easily win the capturing objectives missions will have a setback when they come to kill points. But in this particular tournament, you may as well go for as many units as you can, because when it comes to kill points, you're going to be playing against somebody else who also has a lot of kill points, so it's not really a disadvantage. So a little bit contentious there, but anyway, Dave also has Sister Saint Celestine, or whatever her name is. My first time up against this sort of Sisters of Battle build with the new codex in the White Dwarf book or whatever. So it's going to get interesting. Next image, my scout moves from the Vendettas, just taking their 24 inches, so that if he shoots at me, they'll get a 4+ turbo boosting flat out cover save. And yeah, just trying to steal the objective at this point, but not managing to. You can also see my little tokens over the tanks. You'll see a lot of these throughout the tournament. That basically just represents which squads are in which tanks. Next image, Dave actually has his scout moves with his sister squads, 2 of them in the rhinos. I can't remember the exact name of them, but if he gets the first turn, he'll easily be able to move up and start shooting at me, which could be a bit of a problem. Next image, that's exactly what he does, and unloading a group of Sisters of Battle here with their their special weapons, blasting away at my my Vendetta, and of course getting results in the chart which stop me from shooting, which will be difficult because I need to fire as many guns as I can at his exorcist, because every turn those exorcists are going to be firing their missiles, D6 shots, 48 inches, strength 8, AP1, and it's going to really ruin my day. Celestine just flying and winging away across the battlefield. Next image, just a bit more of a zoom out. He's already immobilized and destroyed one of my Vendettas in the middle of the table, which is going to cause my Demolisher to have to move through it, and actually stun locking a couple of my my Vendettas while he goes there. Hydras, are in a good position to do a lot of damage to his rhinos, but it's the Exorcist that I'm really worried about. Next image, on the left-hand flank, he's also dropped up a group of sisters here with melter guns, and these guys actually decide to destroy my Chimera. So if you go to the next image, a squad of veterans with 3 melter guns pop out, unfortunately failing their pinning checks. So just continuing to have a little bit of bad luck this game. I really would like to actually be able to shoot him with melter guns and assault him, and that would really deal with the side of the battlefield. But now it's highly likely that he's going to get the first shot at me and then assault me and actually get a couple of easy kill points without any real retaliation. So things are already going quite badly. Next image, in the meantime, one of his exorcists has cracked one of my chimeras, and Celestine, of course, is able to mop them up in short order after the tanks have been blown up. So quite a good situation for him, really. I can't really do much about Celestine because if I do kill her, she's back on a 4+. So I'd really be wasting my time trying to get a kill point out of her when I can really just go for the rest of his army. Next image, just trying to do a whole lot of shooting at the rhino in the foreground. I have wiped out their sister's squad that was next to that rhino. But after shooting at it with all sorts of multi-lasers and autocannons and heavy bolters, I still didn't even destroy it. You know, it's immobilized, which means I'll get, you know, I don't think I'll even get a kill point for it, actually, but all of that firepower could have probably been better used elsewhere, and unfortunately just not playing that well, and definitely not rolling that well. The next image, yet another guard squad is, well, this is actually a platoon command squad, just, you know, losing their chimera. I've actually got some Chaos Space Marines there to represent the melter gunners, and Celestine's just waiting in the wings to mop them up as soon as that happens. So, yeah, definitely down on kill points at this point. Next image, the veterans moving up a lot closer. They've actually popped their smoke grenades. The Vendetta on the wings here actually still managing to pop off a couple of shots, but at this point I fired, you know, Demolisher, Medusa, a bunch of last cannons at these rhinos and the Exorcist in the background, not really managing to take out the Exorcist, so still very unlucky with my dice rolls, really expecting much more from my army. Next image, some of the chimeras I had back awaiting the wings have actually shot Celestine to death, but you know, she'll get a chance to come back to life on a 4+ next turn. Next image again, that's exactly what happens, and of course he's cracked another one of my chimeras, the infantry squad spilling out. You can see the necromundans here. So that chimera has been wrecked, and Celestine, of course, able to use her little flamer and wipe a whole bunch of them out, and then charge them and kill them all. Next image, my veterans are actually getting a little bit lucky here and fighting off the Sisters of Battle squad on the left-hand side. It's probably because the veterans of Khorne, the traitor guard worshipping the Chaos God of close combat, so no wonder they've held their own against these sisters, and you know, allowing me to creep back on victory points a little bit, or kill points I should say, but still facing a loss at this point. So next image, Imperial Guardsman squad actually still in close combat with Celestine. Somehow she's rolled really terribly, and they've survived. She's only strength 3 after all. And killing one of his rhinos in the background there, wiping out a squad of sisters, and still not actually taking out all of the excess, which means that he keeps unlocking me and I keep losing tanks, so things very, very bad indeed. And in fact, what happens is because we got to turn 5, I think, and failed to roll a 3+ to continue the game, meaning that I was 1 kill point down and I ended up losing. So a bit of a shock losing the first game to what seemed like a pretty decent matchup. I put the first round loss down to mainly poor dice rolling. Lost the roll for the first turn, which was very, very significant. Couldn't actually get the armor penetration and damage table rolls that I needed to cripple his exorcists. And of course his rolls were fine when he needed them to be, cracking my tanks and of course mopping me up with Celestine, who of course managed to get the 4+ to come back. So not much could have done about that. Maybe could have played a little bit better in some areas, but it is 40k after all, and often it does come down to a lot of dice rolls. But I must say that the table we played on, absolutely stunning, and really hope to see this back at events in the future. Alright, see you guys in the next round.